Welcome to Midday Motivation. This Sunday, Pastor Sean talked about faith volumizer. 5 things that can help us to volumize our faith, to build up our faith. So let's talk about those 5 things. Let's go deeper. Number 1 was Bible application. Obviously, you need time in the Word. That was essential. That is essential that we all need time in the Word, right? We can always have more and more time. Number 2 was prophecy builds faith. So prophecy, basically whatever comes to pass, right? We can read about Isaiah and things that he prophesies and different of the coming of Jesus, different things like that you're going to see in the Word of God, obviously. We're going to see prophecy. So he talked about that builds up our faith. Number 3 was fellowship. Fellowship with other believers builds up faith as well. And he went on to say with testimonies, we share content, like when we're happy with each other and also concerned. And I'm going to go deeper into that in a minute. Number 4 was tribulations. That builds up faith, right? Like in James, it talks about building up your faith with through tribulations, right? It definitely is going to test our faith, right? It's going to bring it to a deeper meaning in life. And then and perseverance as well. And number 5 was journaling, just writing down things and making sure that things that you see God work in your life, you're writing it down, things that are meaningful to you, or just thankful heart, or even just your complaint and be like, God, I can't do this anymore. And then going back and reading them and then seeing what God is doing in your life and how much he's built up your faith on it through it. Okay. So, obviously number 1, Bible application, it's like key go-to. I mean, if you are not doing that yet, we encourage you, get on the Word. Take some time, but even if you just start with 1 verse a day, that you can just meditate upon that and keep going. So we definitely want to encourage that. We know that our church is built up on that. Prophecy, always test it, right? You can't just believe everything that everybody tells you, right? If it goes against the Bible, definitely not good. I really want to hit on number 3 though, fellowship. And I want to make a challenge for everybody, okay? Everybody in our church. Now, I know COVID has made it really hard for us to fellowship, okay? I get it. Because it's hard. You don't want to sit in front of another screen. If you guys are like me, where you work in front of the screen, the last thing you want is to fellowship in another screen, right? And go to a meeting on a screen. It's just not cool. However, if you are comfortable now, start inviting people over to your house. Yes, guys, that is important. And I want to keep kind of show you a couple of things about the Word of God, where it tells you things like that how cool it is to have that, right? So Psalm 133:1 says, how good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. So it made me think of, okay, live together. So maybe you're not spending the night in my house. I get it. But that doesn't mean you can't come over my house and share a meal and spend life together. Live life together. Share testimony. Pastor Sean was talking about how you can share testimonies. That encourages you because it makes you look back at your own personal life and say, oh my goodness, that's what God brought me out of. And then you're encouraged with others as they share their stories and be like, wow, look how amazing God is. So if you haven't tried that yet, that's my first challenge. Invite somebody on Sunday after church to your house. I don't care if you live all the way in Boca or if you live all the way in Palm Beach Gardens. Invite somebody. If you think, well, they might not want to come, okay, then go out to eat to a restaurant and, each of you pay for your own meals. I mean, some people can't do that. That's why I say invite them over to your house. Again, if you're not comfortable, I get it. I don't want to push it on you, but I have been challenged myself. My husband and I have decided every Sunday we're trying to invite somebody new to our house to just fellowship, get to know each other, because our church is not going to get more solid and more unified unless we make it happen in the sense that we live life together. And you can see in Acts 2 verse 42 through 47. I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to pay attention about how they built their church and how many they added to their numbers, and it was all through fellowship. So it says, they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching, to fellowship, to breaking of bread and to prayer. Interesting, breaking of bread, that means eating, okay? And to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe at the many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. Now, I get it, we're not the apostles, okay? But it does say how all of the believers were together and had everything in common. In common means that you find common ground, you find each other, and you see where we can talk about things, right? They sold the property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. Now, I'm not telling you go sell out all your property, okay, and give it to the church. Please don't misunderstand me, okay? If you want to, that's awesome, if that's what God's telling you. But what I'm trying to say is they took care of their own. So when somebody was sick, they took care of them. They're like, hey, we're here for you. We are the church. We are each other. But you can't know if somebody's sick unless you actually talk to them and get to know them, right? Or ask them what their need is. 46, every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread. Again, they broke bread. Hint, hint, invite somebody to church and then bring them to your house. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people. And the Lord added to their numbers daily those who were being saved. Now, I know sometimes we're thinking, oh yeah, I want to go to the pastor's house. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure Pastor Daryl loves to have people out of the house. I mean, they do have to do all the cleaning, just like I have to do all the cleaning when you have to expect people. I get it. Okay, I know Pastor Sean loves to have people at their house, and I'm sure all the elders do too. However, we can't just depend on them to build the church. It says every believer. So what we're trying to do is challenge each other. I know we used to have this where we used to open up people's houses and people would sign up and want to go to somebody else's houses. Well, why do we have to depend on somebody writing? Why can't we just do it by naturally asking somebody, right? So let's fellowship together. So I challenge you this Sunday, look for somebody and be like, hey, I don't know if you're available right now. If you're not, that's okay. Let's do it next Sunday. Or however you want to do it, but just invite people. If I haven't gotten to you, don't get offended. Maybe you need to invite somebody else, right? Let's get the ball rolling. I'm going to try to invite as many people as I can, but remember, I do have a little one too. So I understand how that all works, but I don't want to make any more excuses. I want to get to know everybody. Now, again, I'm only one person in the church. But if we all did it, man, people would really feel welcome in our church. Now, we're not putting any pressure. Please don't misunderstand me. It's not about making the point of, oh, you have to do it. No, it's just fellowship. Get to know the people. Maybe you're not comfortable inviting somebody, but you are great at calling somebody. So get somebody's digits and be like, hey, do you mind if I get your number? I would love to just talk to you. How are you doing? Get into contact with you. If somebody asks you for their number, don't think anything bad. Just be like, sure, thanks. I really appreciate it. I'm pretty sure somebody would love to have somebody pray for each other, right? So let's do that. Another number 4 was tribulation builds faith. And I can tell you from personal experience, tribulations really build faith and perseverance. You know, as some of you know, I had cancer in January 2020, and I went through a whole year of, you know, with COVID and in cancer and all the treatments and stuff. I'm still going through treatment. I'm almost done, praise Jesus. But that, it has definitely shifted my thinking. In the tribulation part, it has built up my faith. Just depending on God and grabbing the word of God and like memorizing it and trying to build up on it, guys. I cannot emphasize enough, if you are going through tribulation right now, the first thing you need to do is open that word and get to it and find those verses that just speak volumes to your lives, that you just can put in the mirror and be like, God, you said, Lord, help me in this because I'm not seeing it, or I am really down. And one thing that God taught me, that through tribulations, it is a great time to minister to others, because then you don't put that focus on yourself. You put it on God, and you said, God, it is your will and your plan. Now, obviously, it's easier said than done when you are in the bottom. But I realized that when I was able to give somebody hope, when I was able to share with somebody, when I was like in my down, I remember one time I was so down, I was like throwing up, and I was like, I just die. Like I was just done with the chemo. And that's when God used me the most. To one young lady that I just saw a Facebook post. I happened to be in my bed resting, and I was just done, and I looked at the post, and I noticed she needed somebody. And I just, text her, hey, if you ever want to talk, just give me a call. Like within 5 minutes, she was calling me, and I'm like, really, God? Like, you want me to minister right now when I'm not feeling great? And it was one of the best ministrations that I've ever done in my life. But it was because I was able to be like, God, use me. Okay, I'm feeling down in the dumps right now, but use me, God. And when God used me, wow, I finished that conversation after an hour and a half being on the phone, and I was like, whoa, I feel better. Whew! I felt like the whole load has been lifted off of me. It was so cool. So when you're willing and open vessel, when you are in that tribulation, look for ways to how you can help others. All right, guys? So have a blessed day. I pray that you would make it your goal to please, please, please open yourself up and fellowship with each other so that we can get to know each other. So open up your house. If you're not comfortable, go to a restaurant. Just find somebody's number. I don't know. Just do something so that our church can grow with fellowship, because I do believe that's one of the biggest keys that we are going to make our church grow more. When people are going to know that you care when they see you actually going through life with them, right? And that's just in any general church, whether it's our church or any church. So I encourage you, look for somebody, invite them over. If you did not get invited, don't get offended. Maybe God is telling you, you should open up your house, you know? So love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Be blessed. Bye.